Hey, welcome back. So, some of you might have checked your email recently and found a message from the government with a subject line that simply said, "There's still time." And for a lot of folks, especially retirees on Social Security, that email caused more stress than clarity. I mean, if you've ever been told to be cautious of phishing scams and then suddenly get an unexpected message from a government agency asking you to do something with your account, yeah, it's natural to be concerned, especially if your monthly income depends on that account being safe and accessible. Now, here's the surprising part. That email, it was reportedly real, sent from a verified.gov address. It was part of a major change the Social Security Administration made earlier this year. But the reaction to that email and the confusion around it revealed something deeper. It's not just about digital logins or cybersecurity. It's about trust, accessibility, and how prepared we really are when big systems change with little warning. So stay with me, because understanding what's going on here might help you, a loved one, or someone in your community stay connected to the benefits they depend on. And before we get into it, let me know in the comments if you or someone you know have ever received any email from Social Security and felt unsure about what to do next. I'd love to hear how you handled it. And if this kind of information helps you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future updates. So then, let's talk about what actually happened. Earlier this year, the Social Security Administration moved forward with a big digital update. Basically, if you created a My Social Security account before September 18th, 2021, you had to transition to a new sign-in system using login.gov or ID.me by March 29th, 2025. That's right, it wasn't optional. Now, if those names don't sound familiar, login.gov is a federal login system used across multiple government sites, including the IRS and immigration services. ID.me is a third-party identity verification tool that's been used for things like unemployment claims and tax documents. The goal of both? To make sure your identity is secure, especially given the rise in cyber threats and identity theft over the past few years. And honestly, from a security standpoint, it makes sense. In 2023 alone, over 1 million cases of identity theft were reported, with a good number tied to stolen Social Security numbers. So the SSA's reasoning was pretty straightforward. They wanted to protect your personal data and reduce the chance of fraud. They called it simplifying your sign-in experience. But for a lot of people, that's not how it felt. You see, what sounded like a simple digital upgrade on paper turned into a very real headache for thousands of beneficiaries in real life, especially for folks who aren't comfortable using technology or navigating government websites in English. Latino retirees in particular were hit hard. Many of them received that "there's still time" email and weren't sure if it was a scam. And honestly, I don't blame them. Even seasoned internet users can get tricked by emails pretending to be from the government. This made some people even scared when seeing the message, especially with stories going around about people losing their benefits from phishing scams. And that fear isn't paranoia. It's grounded in real experience. Scams are more sophisticated now than ever. It's easy to copy a logo, use official language, and trick people into clicking links they shouldn't. So even if an email is legitimate, if there's not a clear heads up from the agency beforehand, people are right to be cautious. And also, the actual process of switching over accounts wasn't exactly smooth for everyone. To move your old account over to login.gov or ID.me, you had to go through a multi-step verification process. That often meant uploading photos of your ID, setting up multi-factor authentication, sometimes even using facial recognition. And if anything went wrong, like if your address or phone number was outdated, you could get locked out of your account. Some people didn't receive their activation codes. Others spent over an hour on hold trying to get help. Some people had received error messages when trying to sign up. If that happens, the next step being calling in, waiting on hold, and going through the process that way. Even though the SSA did try to make adjustments, like offering landline verification and beefing up phone support, the truth is they're still dealing with staffing shortages and budget limitations. That means longer wait times, slower service, and more stress for folks who are just trying to access the benefits they've earned. And next, let's talk about why this is such a big deal. The move to centralized logins is part of a broader trend across federal agencies. Everything is going digital. Tax filings, citizenship forms, Social Security benefits, they all now rely heavily on secure online systems. And again, from a data protection point of view, that's a smart move. But it can unintentionally leave some groups behind. Think about older adults, people in rural areas, folks with disabilities, or those that don't speak English fluently. These are the people who may not have a smartphone or internet access or someone to walk them through the process. And without that support, they get shut out. So while the security is better, the accessibility, not so much. And even though the SSA made tutorial videos and FAQs, they didn't always reach the people who needed them most. Experts have pointed out that this rollout needed more than just tech. It needed community outreach, multilingual assistance, and real human support. Because at the end of the day, tech alone can't solve everything. So what does this all mean for you? Well, if you successfully switched over to login.gov or ID.me before the March deadline, you're good to go. You now have a secure login that can access not just Social Security, but a bunch of other government services too. That's a long-term benefit and could make managing things easier going forward. But if you didn't make the switch yet, you won't be locked out, at least not immediately. Starting March 29th, 2025, if you try to sign in with your old SSA username and password, you'll be required to switch to login.gov or ID.me at that point to continue. Eventually, the old sign-in option will go away entirely, so it's a good idea to make the switch now before that happens. Just pausing for a moment to share something that could really help you or someone you care about. If you're 65 or older, or helping someone who is, you probably know how overwhelming Medicare can feel. The mailers, the endless calls, all claiming they have the best plan, it's exhausting. When my team and I were looking into this, we came across Chapter, and what stood out wasn't just that they compare all 24,000 plus plans. It was their story. The founders built Chapter after their own parents got stuck in the wrong Medicare plans, and they realized just how many people were being misled or pressured into making choices that weren't right for them. That's what makes Chapter different. Their advisors aren't paid to push one plan over another. They're salaried, independent, and genuinely there to help you. You'll speak with a real person who takes the time to understand your doctors, prescriptions, and preferences and helps you make a decision you feel good about. And the call is totally free. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest support. If you're already in the right plan, they'll tell you. And if not, they'll help you find one that better fits your needs. If you want to talk to someone today, give Chapter a call at 615-639-1937 or visit askchapter.org/money. Again, that's 615-639-1937. It's free, and it might save you a lot of stress. All right, now let's get back to it. Some even say there should be an option to continue using the old login system under stricter monitoring, especially for people who genuinely struggle with the new setup. And that might not be such a bad idea, because this isn't just a Social Security issue. It's about the direction we're heading as a country. As more government services go digital, how do we make sure that every American, regardless of age, language, or access, can still be included? The SSA's challenge now is bigger than just fixing login bugs. It's about rebuilding trust, making people feel like they're seen, heard, and supported, especially in communities where trust in institutions has been fragile to begin with. For someone who don't fully understand the technology, but still wants to trust the system, that matters a lot. And it should matter to all of us. Hey, if you've gone through this transition and had trouble, or if you helped a parent, neighbor, or friend with it, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. What worked? What didn't? What would you want the SSA to do differently? And if this kind of breakdown helps make sense of what's going on, feel free to give the channel a follow. I try to keep things calm, clear, and always rooted in facts because I know this stuff affects real people in real ways. You deserve to feel confident about your benefits and the systems that manage them. And when things feel overwhelming or confusing, you shouldn't be left figuring it out alone. So let's keep the conversation going. And as always, thanks for being here.